Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very, very much for being here, being on time. Yeah, we're going to be with you for the next 45 minutes. So my name's Ian Davey from Nutanix. I'm one of the OEM managers. I manage our relationship with HPE and have done since 2019 when we first formed our partnership. I've got my colleague Damien Erige who's our SE lead for EMEA OEMs. And between us, we're just going to hopefully give you an overview of Nutanix and what we do with HPE, what we do with customers. And I think we'll have some time at the end for some Q&A. So if you've got any burning questions, any thoughts, anything you want to talk about, more than happy to take questions. Since we've been here, I think the people who've come to our booth and spoken to us have sort of fallen into three categories, I would say. There's those who are Nutanix customers, and they come up and they want to know a little bit more about what it is that we're doing, what have we got in the pipeline, what are we doing with HPE. There's those who say, sort of heard of Nutanix, don't sort of know what it is, but we're in a real pickle with Broadcom at the moment. We want to look at options. What is it that you guys can do with us to try to help us? And then there's a camp of who the hell's Nutanix? Or who's Nutanix, as somebody on the stand said yesterday. So hopefully, I'm guessing the audience here, or the crowd here, you probably fit into one of those three categories. So I'm going to try and sort of talk to each of those. But look, as I say, anything you need to know, any questions, we're delighted to help. So, it's that one, isn't it? Sorry, I'm back. There we go. We'll just absolutely. Let's go with this. So, as an organization, what do we do? Our desire is we want to make hybrid cloud simple and cost effective. Basically, to run any application anywhere, to have the same look and feel, to have simplicity, to have ease of use, for you to deploy your applications wherever you want to and manage them securely. All right? That's our absolute ethos as an organization. We've been doing it for 15 years now. We've got about 30,000 customers globally. We bring on about 1,000 new customers every 3 months. Very, very established in all lines of business, all customer sizes. Some customers use us for a particular application or a particular solution. Some organizations use us for the whole enterprise. So we've got a real mix of customers, a real mix of solutions, but the idea behind them is absolutely the same. We want to deliver simplicity, and we want to deliver scale and ease of use for you to deploy your applications. So the tenets of our business, simplicity is key. We've started off, we want everything to be one click. People want to have that cloud-like experience. The idea of going into AWS, going into Azure, be able to stand up, stand down, provision applications, provision VMs simply, is what people want on site, and we deliver that to people's data centers. But we also have a single unified platform that allows you to go into the cloud as well. Because we know you want to scale out, you want to be able to take the benefits of going into the public cloud. So we make that experience simple. Freedom of choice. We want to avoid lock-in where we can. So you're free to use, a hypervisor of your choice. You're free to use underlying hardware of your choice. Free to use management stacks from us, management stacks from other vendors. Damien's going to talk about our AI applications and our AI solutions. We want you to be able to put in applications and tools of your choice, or use ours. It's a completely open stack for you to use. And customer delight. Customer delight is absolutely central to what we do. I've been at Nutanix for 10 years now. And when I started, we had a net promoter score of over 90. It was 93 at the time, which was just unbelievably high. And as we grew, there was always that expectation that, maybe when we get more customers on, maybe things are going to change. Our net promoter score is still 92. Customers, absolute. I think it's the 4th highest in the world, in the industry. I think Tesla are up there. There's a medical center in somewhere in America. There's another one, but it's published. It's a globally published ranking. We're really proud of it. We're really, really proud of it because we're going into organizations, and Nutanix, it might be the Nutanix people. They don't know who we are. Our credibility comes from delivering a solution that people want, that's going to bring benefit, but also is going to be low or no risk. We want people to get benefit from our solution. So that comes from the product, and it also comes from support. So if you're a Nutanix customer, you call us, you get level 1 support immediately. You're not triaged. You don't get through to somebody, we'll see how this works, we'll pass you to somebody else. You get through to the person who's going to fix your problem on the first phone call. It's incredibly important to us. We're really proud of it, and we work incredibly hard every day to make sure that all of our customers have the best experience possible. So, wouldn't be a presentation without some boxes. So, this is what we do. This is, how we try and make our stack very, very easy. So, at the bottom here, we work in a hyper-converged world where we have nodes of storage and compute and storage networking that you scale when demand needs them. So you don't have to buy huge amounts of resource because you might need them. You buy the resource that you need right now. So we're licensed per core, and you just scale up when you need. If you need to add more storage, you add a node with more storage in it. You need to add compute, you add that. It's just added to the cluster, and the administrator sees it as a pool of resource. And that can be carved up and shared out and given to any application. So we can run in the data center, and we have a cloud infrastructure. All of these individual boxes there, they're not individual products that you need to buy. They come as part of our cloud infrastructure product. So if you want to stand up a hyper-converged environment, you buy that. You buy cloud infrastructure and everything around virtual networking, the security, container services, disaster recovery. Everything's built into it, including our own hypervisor, AHV. We've released our own hypervisor about 11 years ago, and it's free. It's part of the product. You don't pay additionally to have a hypervisor. We see it as part of infrastructure. Hypervisor, nobody sort of gets up in the morning and thinks, what can I do with a hypervisor today? It's part of the infrastructure stack, so we make it part of it. You want to do management? Then there's a management portion as well, and that helps you manage across multiple nodes, multiple clusters, but also the public cloud. So if you want to run Nutanix in Azure, in Google, in AWS, that product there, so the same Nutanix product, runs inside the cloud providers. And your management plane will manage it between the two sites. You can pick them up, move them around, move them back and forwards. We had a customer in the UK who was running us in their data center, loved it. They were acquired, and the company that acquired them was a Azure first policy. And they said, look, sorry, but we're going to migrate. We're going to go everything over to Azure. A few months later, they got in touch and said, we've stood up about 2 apps. What we're actually going to do, what we'd like to do, and is it possible to actually put the licenses we have in the data center, put them in Azure, and start running, standing up applications on Nutanix in Azure? And that's absolutely possible. So you just, our licenses are completely portable, pick them up at the data center, stick them into Azure or AWS, the same ones. There's not a special one for AWS, special one for Azure. Pick the licenses up, go run them in the cloud. On top of that, to make things to give the features that our customers looking. We have unified storage services, so files, objects, storage. We can present database services, so you can manage databases as a service, and VDI as well. VDI, we have a product for end user computing. That's really where we started as an organization. Very, very strong, because we scale it, scale up and scale linearly. You add more nodes, you get the same performance with 1 or 50. So VDI and end user computing, absolutely great for it. So what we've done is, this is from, we're the leader in the HCI Magic Quadrant, but again, wanting to give you some data points and some assurances of what we do. So we are now moving into, we want to move into distributed infrastructure to be able to, run your applications wherever they are. So we're just entered that in the leader stage. So this is where we're driving. We want people to start with what they need right now, but we believe the end point is distributed clouds, hybrid cloud. So we're evolving our, I mentioned we launched our hypervisor in 2014, AHV. It's included as part of our product, and we are getting people every single day. I would say 90% of the people that have come on our booth since we've been here have said, I'm on Broadcom, I want to look for an alternative. And people are looking to make a change. And the first thing they're saying is, you've got a hypervisor. We want to talk to you about a hypervisor. Well, that's great. Hypervisor, we can do that, but it's one part of our story. We believe, we're looking at a platform. We're looking at speaking to you about what you're doing in your data center. How can we make it easy? How can we innovate? How can we automate processes that you're doing right now? How can we simplify your operations, not just replacing a hypervisor? And we've got, as I say, we've got about knocking on the door of 30,000 customers. Of those, over 80% are running our hypervisor, our AHV, in production. There's over 1,200 certified solutions. I think that's probably nearer 1,500 now, solutions to run on AHV. So it's not a case of, what you run currently with Broadcom. We've got a product you can migrate easily over to Nutanix, and you can bring the applications with you as well. Okay, so some of the largest organizations in the world that we're working with are running our hypervisor at the core of their business. So a little bit about what we're doing with HPE. As I say, we've been together since 2019, and with them, we jointly developed a hybrid cloud strategy with HPE because of the customers that they have, because of the scale that they have, because of what the customer's wanting. We're looking at, as I said before, modernizing infrastructure with HPE. Customers are looking to how can we get to a hybrid cloud environment. That's what we're developing with HPE. Joint use cases of what you'd expect, end user computing, moving into AI, which we'll talk about in a second, and through a portfolio of 2 parts. So we have ProLiant servers that are certified for our software. They're called DX, so it's HPE DX ProLiant, and also ProLiant for Nutanix. These are units that are completely designed for our software. You purchase it, the software's already on there, you fire it up, and it's supported by ourselves and HPE. We also run on GreenLake. Got some really, really good, large GreenLake customers in Europe who've been using our software as part of their GreenLake subscription. So I think we have all of our portfolios available as a GreenLake offering. We have a lot of customers that would be more than happy to speak to you about how they do it, how they've done it in the future. So what I'm going to do is pass over now to Damien, who's going to take a little bit more about what we're doing next. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
Sure.
Can you hear me, guys? Hello, everybody. Yep, so my name is Damien Orangi. I'm an OEM systems engineer, so I am a typical pre-sales engineer, but I'm here to support the OEMs exclusively, so HPE. Ian has given a great overall introduction, and maybe this is a bit of a kind of a quick segue. We're kind of jumping into AI very quickly. I'm sure you've heard enough about AI over the last couple of days, right? Well, tough, you're getting some more AI again. Quick show of hands, because all I want to do is define a term for you in the next couple of minutes and just give you an understanding of how Nutanix is approaching enterprise AI. What do they want to do in this space? Who are they kind of targeting? Who are they going kind of after? Who's the end user that they're going after here? Because there's lots and lots of people operating in this space now, right? Anyone bringing inferencing into production? Show of hands. On-prem? Anyone experimenting with GPUs? And your laptop, you can't include your laptop in that. Can anyone get their hands on GPUs or would like to? Anyone running or anyone managing teams here, IT operations teams? So we got a couple of IT operations managers. Have you been asked about this, or have you been thinking about how do I bring an LLM into production in my data center or in my infrastructure? You should be up here, because you just explained the slide. 100%, right? I'm not sure if you all heard him. The persona that we're targeting here is IT operations, IT managers, okay? Nutanix Enterprise AI, let me tell you about what it's not. It's not an MLOps platform. It's not designed to be an MLOps platform. It's not a platform for running experiments, pipelining, data ingestion, anything like that. This product's about a year old. Started development, and what it's targeting is enterprise IT, right? Nutanix, as Ian has done a good job explaining, has always been trying to delight the end user, which is the IT administrator, the IT operations team, via hyperconverged infrastructure. That's super easy to use, it's intuitive, kind of draws on the principles of scale out and scale up. And we've been doing virtual machines for years and years. We've been doing disaster recovery for years and years, virtual networking, fail over, fail back, run it in the cloud. It's the same management interface. Don't have any screenshots to show you, but you can trust me. And customers are delighted with it, as I said, a high NPS score here. We've been tackling Kubernetes over the last couple of years via acquisitions. I'm not here to talk about Kubernetes today. But I think we can say, and I've talked about this a lot at the booth, I kind of feel like generative AI is kind of driving Kubernetes adoption as well. It's kind of obvious, right? Gen AI platforms run in containers. Containers need to run in Kubernetes. A lot of people now are starting to refactor code into containers. I think kind of it's all getting a bit cyclical. Nutanix are tackling that as well via NKP. But the kind of third pillar, and Nutanix has entered this space now, is enterprise AI. But if you take those concepts of resiliency, day two operations, security, privacy, that Nutanix is doing already on the virtual machine landscape and the Kubernetes landscape, we want to do that in the AI landscape as well, so to help you operationalize. It is an inferencing platform at the moment. That's all it wants to be. But it wants to be an inferencing platform that's actually controlled by your IT operations team. So it does three things. Firstly, it runs on any Kubernetes platform. So Nutanix Enterprise AI fundamentally is a group of curated containers for you that will run inferencing and generate endpoints for you. It'll give you a curated list of models from Hugging Face and NVIDIA. So these models are tested and validated, and then they're available for download for you. Again, put yourself in the mind of an IT operations team, right? You've probably got data scientists out there or application developers who are Hitting API endpoints in the cloud, more than likely. Might be doing some on-prem work as well. That's absolutely fine. You're in the experimental phase. What you need to do is, sooner or later, IT operations are going to have to get their hands around this. We want to give control of that back to the IT operations guys, right? So the data scientists are probably going to have an idea of what models they want to run, whether it's using open source models, maybe they're developing their own models. But when it comes time for inference, as part of that pipeline, you want to hand that model over to the IT team, because they're the guys looking after the infrastructure, they're the guys looking after the GPUs and the networking. So why not make them look after the models as well? They have to anyway for governance reasons, right? Otherwise, it's just got a shadow IT problem. And that all bundles into simple security and governance. So it's based on role-based access control. IT control the keys, they control the auditing, they control the logging, they control the actual publishing of the endpoints. Sounds good. I think this slide just duplicates what I've talked a little bit about. We want to drive core Nutanix concepts here again, which we've heard time and time again: simplicity, control, and cost. So where does it live? I've kind of explained that a little bit. I'm just doing a quick time check here. As I said, right, whether you're deploying GenAI apps, maybe you're getting something off the shelf, maybe you've got a development team that's kind of doing this for you. As I said, its deepest integration is, of course, if it runs on Nutanix, but it will run on any Kubernetes platform, fundamentally. And it's going to give your IT operations team, it's going to give them 4 things. It's going to give them an enterprise model repository that I talked about. It's going to be role-based access control in terms of granting permissions, who can access the endpoints, IT own the API keys, and it's going to give you inference services as well, most importantly. All that bundled together is Nutanix Enterprise AI. You can buy this as a standalone SKU. You can run it on your own Kubernetes platform. You don't have to get started with Nutanix to run Nutanix Enterprise AI. Sorry, you don't have to purchase Nutanix infrastructure to get started with this. This is a top-down approach, which is new for Nutanix. I want to get you hooked. As I said, this runs on the NKP platform. We're certainly not going to get into that today. We've had lots of people come up to us in the booth wanting to know more about the Nutanix Kubernetes platform. Suffice to say, it runs on top of NKP, but it can run anywhere Kubernetes runs. And of course, that you've got GPUs. So to summarize, here we go. So to summarize, how does it work? Okay, so it's pretty simple. We're going to deploy our containers. We're going to get it up and running. As I said, any Kubernetes platform. We log into the interface, and basically we pick our models. We go into the interface, we connect it with NGC, we connect it with Hugging Face. We download the models that we want, or we upload models that are being provided for us. And essentially, we deploy that model, or it gets deployed for you. So IT operations don't need huge Kubernetes experience. Well, they actually don't need any Kubernetes experience. And more importantly, they don't need NVIDIA experience, or they don't need kind of experience around running GPU operators, figuring all that stuff out, which IT are now being asked to do. When you deploy the model, which is about 3 clicks of a mouse, essentially, it's orchestrated in the back end. It's all Kubernetes underneath the hood, of course it is, but it's orchestrated for you. It's going to install the containers. It's going to install the GPU operator for you. It's going to do the GPU pass-through operation for you, and then basically it's going to build out that endpoint for you with an API key. You can then give that API key to your development guys or whoever's actually building out your app that needs some sort of local inference. And all of this is giving power and control back to IT. So check out the test drive. See what you think of it. And if there is an AI project coming up in your organization, consider an AI.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Damien. Don't forget to turn your microphone off in case you go to the toilet. So, that was Damien, a really good point there about try the test drive. I've been talking to a lot of people on the booth about this because, people want to get a look and feel. They want to try it out. They want to see what it looks like. So if you go to Nutanix.com, and on the front page, the top right-hand corner, there's a button that says test drive. You click on that, you get access to our whole portfolio for 3 hours or 4 hours? 3 or 4 hours. You can do anything with it. It will guide you through how to make a VM, how to add a node, how to stand up a cluster, how to sort of move applications, VMs into AWS, how to stand up an AI. It really does give you a full look and feel. 3 or 4 hours later, it disappears and goes away. But you get a full access to our software, and we would love you to get your hands on it, because that's what we want to do for customers. Let them see how easy it is, how simple it is to do those tasks that you probably find mundane or difficult or don't even do. We can actually help you and automate them. So from our, to summarize, a unified platform using consistent constructs and skill sets. This is a really interesting one, because we've got people who come to us and say, look, we've been running VMware, we're running Broadcom for years. I know how to do it. What about Nutanix? What does Nutanix look like? And our answer is always, it's a driving analogy. If you can drive a manual, you can drive an automatic. We believe that managing your estate, managing your VMs with our software is going to make your life easier. You'll be able to pick it up, be able to manage, and we think you'll find it not just able to do it, but easier to do those tasks that you currently do. Seamless migration between clouds. That's what we want to do. Everyone, people might not be there right now, but people weren't there for virtualization. Before Nutanix, I was 10 years at VMware. And I used to, go into customers at the time and talk about virtualization. They'd go, we'd never run that in production. It was crazy. Times change, things move on. People want to push the boundaries. They want to see how, what is best for their business. And we believe that a hybrid cloud environment is that direction of travel. But you start off with what's best for your business now, but we give you the tools. You don't need to, throw them away, get new ones. We give you the same building blocks, the same tools that you can go on a journey to a hybrid cloud environment. And native integration with the public cloud. You don't need to reprogram anything. We've got fully open APIs, but if you want to go into the cloud providers, great, we'll absolutely allow you to do that. And portability as well. Portability in our licenses. If you start off on one platform, want to move to another, great. It's not tied to any hardware. There's no proprietary sort of controllers or anything to run Nutanix. It's just open x86 hardware. And we're also now, which is a new move away for us, but we are addressing customer demand, is that we're now supporting external third-party storage as well in some with some instances, because customers are coming to us and going, we want to get away from Broadcom, but we need to be able to support certain external storage devices. So we are listening to customers, and we're reacting and moving to try and help them deliver on their hybrid cloud journey. So I think we have got some time. I'm not even sure what the time is. Great, we've got time for some questions now. I'm going to put up this. We do have a celebration party tonight. So we've got a booth, which is amazing, but we've also got a little cafe. We don't know if anybody spotted it. It's a little bit further down the hall, opposite the HPE networking community stand. And from 4:30, we'll be getting the drinks out and ham on. Not just
this is
ham
the most
on.
important slide of the presentation.
Yeah. So we'll be slicing that up, giving out the drinks. And you don't look like a shy bunch, but if you don't want to sort of ask questions here, you want to come and talk to us and have a drink and tell about what you think it's good, think it's rubbish, tell us what you want, come and have, let's do it over a drink and something to eat. But look, we've got some time. If you want to sort of, any questions top of mind at the moment from anyone? No? I'll take it that you all found it fantastic, so thank you very much. Excellent. But look, If there's nothing else, so have a great rest of the day. Don't forget. And then, yeah, maybe see you at the party tonight. Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.